for your balance. We'd love. Please hold while we transfer your call to the next available storage expert. Your call may be monitored for quality and training purposes. Thank you for calling Extra Storage. IKEA speaking.
IKEA?
Yes, sir.
Hi there, my name's Kyle Varela. Thanks for, good, happy afternoon. I'm just calling to verify that my rent payment went through and everything.
All right, let me look into it for you. What's the phone number associated with your account? Your first and last name again, I'm sorry.
My first and last name, Kyle Varela.
Do you store at the street location?
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, we had a payment from you for today.
Okay, could you tell me the details of that, please?
It was $66.20.
Okay, and so my so that covers my rent for what days through what days?
Okay, so you're paid through May 20th. Your next bill is due May 21st.
Okay, my next payment is due May 21st. Okay. Could you so there's someone at my storage facility right now, right? As far as like someone who works there.
No.
But it's Sunday and they're open until 4, so someone has to be there.
I'm not for sure. I can call and check.
If you could, that'd be great. I'd appreciate it. If you could call and check, and if you could also check to make sure that there's not any overlocks on my unit, and make sure that my gate code works now that I've paid my rent for this month, please. Thank you.
One moment. Mr. Kyle?
Yes.
So yeah, the store, you're not overlocked, but you have to stop by the office.
May I ask why I have to stop by the office?
The store manager requested you to stop by the office.
Okay, well, if my rent is paid, I don't. What else do I,
To gain access to your unit, you have to stop by the office.
Well, that's not what the law in my lease says. The lease says that if I've paid my rent, that I should have access to my unit.
Yes, sir.
So then.
But the store manager requested you to stop by the office, sir. That's all.
Okay. Well, I don't have any. You just agreed that I don't have any legal obligation to do so, and that I should have access to my unit because I paid my rent as the law.
What I'm saying to you, sir, is if the store manager requests you to stop by the office to gain access to your unit, you have to do so.
Hold on, though. That doesn't sound very correct, because I have paid my rent. What?
Sir,
What
it
does
has nothing
it?
to do with your rent, sir.
It has nothing to do with my rent.
He requested you sir, he just requested you to stop by the office. That's all.
Okay, well, I'm not
That's
going to
the only
stop.
way
I'm not going to
you
stop by the
can.
office. I have no interest in talking to him, and I have no legal requirement to go through him to get access to my storage unit. I paid my bill. Could you please make sure that my gate code works, and tell him that,
Your code would not work until you stop by the office, sir.
Hold on, are you sure that you're saying what you're saying, and that does that make any sense to you? Because what does the law say? What does my lease say? It says that if I paid my bill, that my code will work.
Okay, sir. All you have to do is stop by the office and speak with the store manager.
All you have to do is confirm that my bill's been paid, which you already did, right?
Sir.
Okay.
And I've confirmed. I did everything you asked me to do. I called the site.
Yes,
to
but
confirm to see if your code will work.
I asked
and I'm letting you know that he stated to stop by the office. That's all you have to do to get your code to work.
No, all I have to
Not
do is
all.
pay my rent. It doesn't say anything about having to talk to the manager.
Okay.
Or does it? Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Sir, it's up. The manager is up to their discretion.
Okay,
so
well, you know what?
If they need to speak with you about something, then that's what they have to do.
If he needed to speak with me about something before I got access to my unit, he probably should have made it so that I couldn't make my payment, but until I talked to him. And he didn't do that. I made my payment. I want access to my unit, just as I've had before, as I should have it, just as anyone else has it. No one else has to go through the manager to get access to the unit. It's absolutely unreasonable for you to say that I have to go to the manager if the manager wants me to go to him. I've paid my bill. What else is there that he needs from me? And if he put it in writing, sure, that's one thing. What's he going to put in writing, though? What could he possibly have such a necessity before I get into my unit to talk to me about?
Okay, sir. If you want to gain access to your unit, stop by the office. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, so I asked you if there was someone there. You said you weren't sure you could call, and then I asked you if you could make sure that there's not an overlock or a gate code on my unit. Now, you didn't make sure that there wasn't either of those things. You came back and told me that, that I was going to have to go. So I need you to transfer me to your manager then, because I paid my bill. There needs to be no restriction to me getting to my unit. And if you can't ask the store manager to do that on behalf of corporate, someone else can.
I never said any of that. I've confirmed there's no overlock on your unit. I've confirmed that your gate access, yes, it has been suspended until you go reach out to the site manager and speak to him.
Okay,
that's all I said.
That's absolutely unreasonable, because when my gate access was blocked because of not paying my bill. I paid my bill. You guys have the obligation to unblock it. And if someone's going to stand in the way of that,
it's a simple conversation with the store manager, sir. There's nothing else I can do about it.
Is it? Okay. Well, why can't we do it over the phone then?
Okay, sir. He's asked for you to come in and stop by and speak to him.
Okay, that's fine and dandy. I've asked for him to open my gate, to unlock, to enable my gate access code, and he should do that already. That's his job. That's your job. Someone's job. When my rent gets paid, the computer should automatically be unlocking my gate code. What is going on with all of this? Has to stop by the office. Like, I don't like to stop by the office. I don't want to stop by the office.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, there isn't anything I can do about that.
Okay. Well, I need to talk to your manager, because I believe that there is something you should be doing about it. And if you can't, then your manager will have to help me.
Okay. 1 moment.
Thank you.
Thanks for holding. This is Andre.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
My name is Andre.
Andre, hi there. How are you doing today? My name's Kyle Varela.
Yes, sir. My Kia was telling me a little bit about the situation, but I do see here in the notes that the facility manager was requesting for you to come into the facility. Here at the call center, we cannot supersede anything that happens at a facility.
Yeah, you can.
My job as one of the supervisors here, or my job actually, is just to make sure that calls are answered in the order in which they're received. We cannot go above them. Anything that handled at the site or store level has to be handled at the site or store level.
Okay.
The facility manager is requesting for you to come in for whatever the situation is, sir.
Well, what part of my lease or what part of the law says that I have to do that? Because I've upheld my end of our agreement. I've paid my rent. Access to my storage unit should be enabled automatically.
So if there's any kind of infraction, any kind of rule breaking, we can't dish out any kind of punishment. We can't say you did this or you did not do that or anything like that. that is all handled from facility to facility. So again, if the facility manager is requesting or saying that, you know, you are eating or littering or, you know, whatever the case may be, then you would have to come to the facility manager and have that conversation with that individual.
Where does it say that?
That's what I'm saying. I do not know what the situation is.
No, but you know what the lease said. You know the lease, though.
Can you say one more time, please?
I'm talking about where in the lease does it say that? Because the manager's asked me to do something that there's no indication in the lease whatsoever that I'll ever have to go through someone to get to my storage unit if my bill is paid. If my bill is paid, I'm to have access to my storage unit just like everybody else who has their bill paid has access to their storage units.
There are certain situations in which you can pay your bill and you would still have to come to the front office. For example, if there's like a red lock on your unit, I do not think that's the case here. You would have to come to the office for that manager to remove the lock for you in person.
No, why would I have to do that if my rent is paid? The removal of any sort of overlock should be automatic when I pay my rent.
No, it is not. If you have to remove the lock, you do have to be present for that lock to be removed. That is in the lease.
Are you sure? Because
if they cut your lock.
Say again?
But again, I said especially if they do cut your lock, but again, that is not. I don't think that's the situation because there's nothing in here about a lock being charged or a lock fee or anything like that.
Yeah, they should have no reason to cut my lock. My lock is fine. There was an overlock on my lock.
I was just listing a situation in which that would happen. Again, I do not think that's the situation.
Okay, but I still don't think that that's correct at all. That's not what I've read or heard at all. There's me having to go to the manager's office is not anywhere in the lease that I know of. And unless you can show me where it is, then maybe you should call the manager and tell him that, look, the guy paid his rent. He doesn't have any obligation to come talk to you. He wants access to his storage. That's all that there is to it. There hasn't been any allegations of whatever there's been allegations of, if there have been allegations, I don't know what they are, but they don't amount to something that they're going to be blocking me from my unit for, or that a court would block me from my unit for. The only thing that I can be blocked from my unit for is non-payment.
Sorry, please continue.
The only am I not correct in that the only thing that is in the law or in the lease that can block me from my unit is is being a delinquent on my payment? Is that correct or not correct?
That is not correct.
Okay.
Again, if there's any kind of damage or vandalism.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. That would have to be determined by a court order, though. The court injunction would have to be made for that to interfere with my lease.
No, sir. If you left like an empty McDonald's bag outside of your unit, that would technically be considered littering, and they could terminate your lease for that. That's a very harsh and very dramatic example, but we would not have to go through like a court process.
You absolutely would have to go through a court process, and you cannot tell me that you would not, because I know for a fact you would. I don't like that you're trying to make me think that you guys have some sort of godlike power in this scenario. You would certainly have to go through a court order in any situation other than non-payment because of exactly what you're talking about. A simple allegation that there's a McDonald's bag outside of my unit could end my lease. Yeah, right. Not in America, not in California. Listen to what you're saying.
Always going to be reported.
If there's any sort of proof, yes, and then the person who would evaluate that proof would be a court, not you guys who are making the allegation, who are controlling the lease and thinking that, clearly, obviously, I know that you know this. This isn't your first day on the job. This is my first day renting somewhere. Now, you guys were authorized to take my payment. I just paid my bill over the phone. Now, you should be able to also ensure that I'm going to be getting what I paid for, which is access to my storage unit. If he has some other issue, fine, let him call the police, let him get a court injunction, let him do something that is legal, but not all this other stuff that's extra legal. I don't know why you guys are willing to let the store manager try and tell you things that aren't legal, that aren't in the lease, that you've never heard of, that make no sense, that aren't fair, that are clearly roads to discrimination. If you would, please. Let him do what's legal, but nothing more, please. And if you need to talk to him about that, I would suggest that you do, because you guys are authorized to take my payment. You took my money already. You have it. I've paid my rent. I have confirmation of this. It's a done deal. Please uphold your side of the deal.
I see that your rent was paid earlier today.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just going back through any notes that have been typed up. Back on the 18th of April, there's a note here that says that the police were called. Something about a closed door or being disruptive. And that the police had to remove you from the facility, or had to escort you from the facility.
Yeah, that didn't happen. But what did happen, and you're going to need a pencil to write this down, is that I filed a report against the police with the mayor's office, internal affairs, and the Department of Police Accountability regarding their illegal actions at the storage facility there, which I recorded, and they picked up the case, and there's a case number for that, and you guys are going to need that information. So stand by here while I open the email and get that case number for you.
But again, sir, we do not handle that here at the call center.
Okay, well then don't bring it up. Then don't bring it up. Now get back to what else do you have?
The point that I was making, sir. Whenever something like this happens with the facility, it has to be handled directly with the facility. That is
not true. What happened at the facility then was police wrongdoing and facility managers committing wrongdoings also. And is it no wonder that I don't want to go by the office? I don't have any obligation to go by the office by my lease, and I'm expecting that, as the corporation on the phone, since I paid you guys my money, that you're going to ensure that the facility is at least operating legally from your point of view, at least. Right now, what he's asking is something that is outside of the contract, outside of anything that's even close to legal in America. There's no situation in where everybody pays a certain amount for some service, but one person has to go through the store manager because the store manager said so, and there's no valid reason why. And if you think that the police thing is a valid reason, well then you're going to need to take this information regarding that issue, because it's been reported and been picked up by the department at the mayor's office that investigates police behavior because of the fact of how illegal it was that the police acted. So one or the other, pick up the pencil, write down this note, put it in my case file, or disregard whatever that hearsay is that they're saying that the police did this, the police did that. If you haven't read the incident report, if you haven't looked into whether or not my submitted report to the Department of Police Accountability is an actual thing, then you, and even if it was, I'm a free person. I'm not in jail right now. If I'm in jail, I can't get to my storage unit. Other than that, if I've paid for it, I can get to it. That's the law. If you can show me anything contrary to that, I'm game to hear it, but...
Again, the point that I was making is that it is hearsay, because we are not present. The person that you were speaking with, she is in South Carolina.
Sure.
Myself, I am in Alabama. We are not in California, so we do not know what the situation is. Because whenever a situation arises at a facility, if there are any questions, there's only about a finite amount of things that we can do here remotely. If there are ever any issues, it does have to be handled with the facility manager. If your access is not working within reason, if you make your payments, yes, we would be able to...
Thank you. I'll stand by while you do that.
Sorry?
You were just explaining that, yes, you'd be able to do something, and whatever it is, I'll stand by while you do it, because I made my payment. You just explained my scenario and indicated that you do something, so I'll wait here while you do that.
And that's what I was saying. Within reason, we have the ability to do that. There's nothing here that's saying that your access...
Do what exactly?
We can't do anything.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? You can call the facility, because that was what happened on the last call. So IKEA, or my Kia, called the facility to make sure that... since my unit was overlocked and since my gate code was suspended, that those things were taken off now that I'm current on my rent. And then that's when she started telling me I had to talk to the manager. Like, why would you be telling me that if there was no indication on my account that my gate code didn't work? I need you to call the store and let him know that, you know, I have the right to have my gate code access without having to go through him or whatever. And if he has a problem, he can go to the police. And that's you know, but he can't tell me I have to do something extra special, like jump around in a circle or something. Like, I've paid my rent. I've fulfilled my side of the bargain. Well, he was. I don't want to go to the manager's office. I don't have to go to the manager's office. It's totally random and completely inappropriate and completely absurd. If he could send me a letter in the mail, that would be the correct thing to do. You know, I paid my rent and I have access to my unit unless a court has otherwise ordered so, because otherwise people would just be overlocking other people's units just to extort them and do whatever else. And I think that you would realize that there's rules and laws specifically outlining how storage facilities work in California so that people are protected from this sort of misbehavior on the staff, on the part of the staff at storage facilities. And whether or not you understand that that's the reason why the laws are like they are in California, you know, I need you to update yourself, you know, get current with what they are and what they mean, and be responsible and ask the store management from the corporate place where you guys are able to take my payment to at least act legally and only act legally, because what he's trying to do is not prescribed for in anything anywhere that I've ever heard of, anywhere in the lease, other than for non-payment, which does not apply to me. And I'll wait here while you do that.
Again, sir, there is nothing that we would be able to do here.
Yes, there is. My Kia was able to call the store. You are able to call the store. I'm asking you to. You now have the obligation to do so.
Call the store.
Thank you. And tell him that I'm not going to visit his office and that he needs to open my gate code anyways because I've paid, and if he has some other issue, he can go to the police and go to the courts. Please, thank you.
Mr. Varela, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I was able to get a hold of Fitz, store manager. Long story short, he went down like the notes, things that were typed up in here. He said that he is willing to unsuspend the access for today. So right now it is 2:29 in California, and so that the gates, you know, normally close today at 3:45. So he said that he's willing to give you that hour and some change here, so that you would be able to come to the facility today and get things that you need, put things in that you don't need, you know, whatever the case may be. But then he was saying that you did have to stop by the front office if you ever wanted that to be unsuspended again.
Whoa. Okay. Well, you're going to report him to corporate, right? Because of what? I mean,
there is already a app that's been put in for the district manager to follow up with you.
Okay, the district manager is doing this also. He's in support of Fitz. He's younger than Fitz. Fitz is an intimidating large guy, and I feel like there's you know, he's probably intimidating James, who is you know, absolutely unwilling to listen to reason, and so you know, those guys, they work at your company. They need to be reported for doing what they're doing. Like right now, like what about what you just told me sounds right. What about what you told me sounds right? Because you know I paid my rent. You were calling him to make sure that my gate code was going to be re-enabled, and he says, I'll re-enable it for 1 day, for 1 hour. That is not what I paid my rent for. I paid my rent for the month upcoming. You know, what I believe that you need to do one of two things. File a complaint to both of their managers, because it's not going to reach ears from James. I've been escalated to James 5 times. He called me back once. He was there the day that the police committed the crimes they committed. He might have been the person who illegally agreed to have me arrested when the police solicited for citizen's arrest against me from your employees, causing them to then be able to coerce me out of the facility where I was there on official business to get this straightened out. Whoever's in charge of them needs to know what's going on here. That's very important to me. If you can't make Fitz unlock the gate code, unconditionally, then there's a serious problem there, because it's not asking anything other for him to do what the law prescribes in the California Self-Storage Act, what his job description describes. Everything he's doing is so extra legal and outside of the scope of his job description that if you don't report him, you're failing as a call center manager, to say the least. There's not just me counting on you to do the right thing. Other people are also being oppressed. Other people have been oppressed and committed crimes against by this guy, clearly. He's been there how many years? He seems like he knows what he's doing. I hate to think about what else people have had to go through. This is, an issue that's important. There's a crime going on. There's something that you have an obligation as a citizen to address, and as an employee of ExtraSpace Self-Storage. So please either call him back and tell him that you see that what he's doing is not legal, it's not prescribed in the lease anywhere, and that if he can't correct himself, that you're going to report him. If you even want to give him that chance, I would like access to my storage. I need access to my storage. So I am hoping that you do option number 1, but if you don't, you have to at least do option number 2. I am, fully capable of making sure that this phone call is known about by whoever needs to know about it, to know whether or not you did your job. And you shouldn't be expecting to get some sort of special credit for doing your job. You should be expecting that if you don't do your job, you're going to, receive some sort of write-up or whatever it is. But this is not just a casual issue. This is like an important, very vital issue regarding that I've paid my rent and that the law isn't being adhered to, and that this guy is breaking the law continually at length for I've been locked out of my unit for over a month. I've had my rent paid the whole time. Calling him back would be what I would like, so that I could get access to my unit tomorrow when I need it, the next day when I need it, whenever I might need it into the future. If you can't do that, I believe it's important that you report him anyways, but I'm going to report him, certainly. I've already tried, but, I can't seem to get above someone who's willing to push it to the district manager who's not being responsible. I'd appreciate it if you could confirm that you're still on the phone with me. And then after you confirm that you're still on the phone with me, then get to James, or not to James, get back on the phone with Fitz and make sure that, he understands what's going on. Please.
Please hold while we transfer your call to the next available storage expert. Your call may be monitored for quality and training purposes.
Good day, this is Agnes with ExtraSpace. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking?
May I ask who this is?
This is Agnes with with ExtraSpace, sir.
Hi, Agnes. Okay, great. Thank you. I have a scenario where the store manager seems to not understand what his job is or something. I paid my rent today, and I need him to set my gate code access back to enabled for the rest of the month, for the entire time that it's supposed to be enabled. Not just the rest of the month, but for however long it's supposed to be enabled for what I've paid for. I've paid my rent as of today for up until like the 20th of next month, and my gate code is supposed to be open past the due date, even into next month. I shouldn't even be locked out right now at all. So if you could call my store and let him know that that I made my payment, because I think there must be some misunderstanding about whether I made my payment or not, please. And my information is the phone number with my account is 6266.
Yeah, do this for me. What phone number do you have on file with us? Do you remember the phone number?
Can you hear me?
666. Yes, sir. My inventory is loading now. Let me see where we are, Mr. Powell. I see you here.
That's me.
Yes, sir. And I do see where you're completely paid up.
Excellent.
Okay, so you just paid this on today.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I paid next month today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I paid for the 21st of April through the 20th of May. Is that correct?
Say that again. Say the time frame again.
The 21st of April through the 20th of May is what I believe I paid for today.
Yes, that is correct. And you're needing your unit unlocked because they had it locked out.
No, I'm not leaving it unlocked. I have my own lock on there. They have it locked out.
No.
What?
They had it overlocked. Yes, sir.
Yeah, they had an overlock.
They had it overlocked. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, but I had my own lock under there.
Paid it today. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you will have. Are they in the office today? Have you spoken with them today? They're usually off on Sunday. They're not off on Sundays today?
Of course, yeah.
They're not off today?
No, they're open till 4.
Oh, okay. Well, there usually is a time period once you pay. There's usually, I think, 24 hours before you can actually utilize that unit again to give them time to unlock it. I do believe there's a time frame for that. Are you familiar with that?
I have not heard of such a thing. If you could, yeah, I don't believe there is. I believe if I'm paid, it can come off instantly and should come off instantly. All they have to do is type it in the computer and go up there with the key and take it off. It's not they don't have to cut a lock or anything.
Right, but I don't think that's how it works, sir. Let me check and make sure. Let me see what the rules and regulations say. Yes,
Thank you.
Sir. Hold for just a moment.
Absolutely, sure thing.
Yes, sir. And you are in California. Okay?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes, sir. You still with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Yes, they will give you access to that lock the very next business day after you've made the payment. So this time tomorrow, then you will be able to utilize your unit, sir.
Okay. The gate code. Am I going to have access to that? Or is my gate code going to be enabled? Excuse me.
You asking me if a gate code can be enabled? Yes.
Well, yeah. Okay, because they were telling me that that he wasn't going to enable it unless I did unless I did something special or something like that, and you know, I paid my rent. My gate code should be enabled. Do you see any note about that?
And yes, sir. And it will be tomorrow. Tomorrow you should have access to your unit. No worries. Your gate code as well as your unit should be able to be unlocked at that particular time.
Okay. It should be able to be. You mean? What do you mean by that?
Yes, so the next business day after you paid, because you were overlocked, right? They had another lock on top of your lock because of delinquency, correct?
You know, I don't know why I wasn't delinquent but 2 days.
Okay, but they did have another lock on top of your lock. Why were you not able to get into your unit?
That I don't know, but I know that I paid my rent. I had my rent paid before. They also had a lock on it over then. You know,
So there is another lock on top of the lock, right? That you did say that you did tell me that there was a lock on top of your lock, correct?
Well, you told me there was a lock on top of. You told me there was a lock and I didn't have a lock. Yeah, you said there was an overlock.
No,
And you said you didn't, and you said I didn't have a lock on my unit. Remember earlier, just a few minutes ago?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. You were telling me I didn't know the situation until you called me. So I didn't know. But anyway.
Well, hold on, Miss. Earlier in this phone call, you said. Earlier in this phone call, Miss, you told me that. You said and you were wondering that why I didn't have a lock on my unit. And I said, I do have a lock on my unit. And you said, oh, because it says here that you're overlocked.
I never said that you did not have a lock. But yes, sir, I understand where you're coming from. Now,
okay, but you
we're having today, right?
So you were able to see that I was.
I said that.
You were able to see that I was overlocked a few minutes ago.
All I'm able to see is that you have paid your bill. I didn't even look any further. All I know is that your bill is paid. I was asking the question. All I know that you are paid. That's all I know. Everything else is information that you have given me, sir.
Okay.
I was just trying to be of assistance to you to help you get into your unit.
Yes, and I
did think that it was 24 hours. So, yes, sir, you'll be able to get into your unit on tomorrow, but not today.
Okay, and can you help me out by helping me confirm that with the place, because they were telling me something like I was only going to have access to my unit today, and then they were gonna turn my gate code off tomorrow or something like that, and I'm like, you know.
Okay, but do you have a pen and paper? Do you have a pen and paper?
No, I would like for you to call them, please, because they don't seem to be taking me seriously, and so they need to know that I'm on the phone with the people that I paid my rent to. You guys, ExtraSpace Storage, and that you guys want to make sure that I'm going to be able to have access to my place, because they're doing things illegally, and you know, I need you to ask them to at least call them and let them know, and at least ask, is my gate code going to be open tomorrow? Is my storage unit going to be not overlocked tomorrow, please?
I don't have to ask them that. The rules and the regulations says that it will be open tomorrow.
I totally agree.
If it's not open tomorrow at this particular time, then you can give us a call back. But I'm sure that they are doing their job for sure.
Okay.
And following the rules and regulations.
Okay, I would love to believe you and tell you that and I'd like to agree with you, but that's certainly not what's going on. I was just on the phone with a manager, a call center, an NCS manager, who was telling me that that my stuff was going to be locked out, and then I had to go talk to the manager to get access to my things and stuff like that. And I had asked him to call, and he called and came back and said that the guy would open my unit for today only, and not tomorrow. And then and he was okay with that. And I told him that he needs to report this to someone, or someone needs to do something, because this has been going on for a month. If you look at the case notes on my file, all of those things are against regulation. Unless there's a court injunction, or unless I haven't paid, I should have access to my unit. I haven't had access to my unit for a month because of them illegally locking it out. Like, I'd love to agree with you and go on good faith, but at this point there's no good faith left. They've been violating the law for the whole month. If you could please just call them and
Yes.
check. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I understand what you're saying. The reason they locked you out is because you didn't pay your bill, right? Or did they locked you out illegally? So you had paid your bill. Your bill was paid.
I had my bill paid. Yeah, I had my bill paid last month also.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Because you just paid today. I tell you what. Why don't you wait till tomorrow?
No.
Should be resolved
Today.
at that particular time.
Okay, my bill was due 2 days ago, and I paid today. So yeah, it's. I had my rent paid all. I had my rent paid all last month. This month I paid ahead for the coming month. Like the rent is due on the day that, you know, I'm paying for this next month of storage. I've already paid, and I need you to make sure, please, for me. And, you know, I'm not asking you to try and tell them what to do, but I just need you to call them and ask them to double check to see if I'm going to be able to get into my unit all month, because the guy who's committing these crimes against me, his name is Fitz, the manager there, is there. And you'll be able to call him for the next like 30 minutes while the store's still open. So if you could, please.
Right, but I'm telling you the same thing as Fitz telling you. What is Fitz telling you?
Hold on. Why are you telling me the same thing as Fitz telling?
What is Fitz saying?
Why don't you tell me what you tell me?
I'm saying the same thing. Because that's rules and regulations. It sounds like what Fitz is telling you is rules and regulations. The same thing I'm telling you, sir.
Yeah, it's not, because we've already gone over the fact that unless there's non-payment, there's no other reason other than a court injunction that they can put a lock on my unit or lock me out of the gate. And they were doing that.
And that's exactly what they did. You didn't pay, so the lock was put on there, and then you paid today, so the lock will be removed tomorrow.
No, I paid on the 1st of April. Also.
Okay.
And my unit was locked out for the remainder of the month until it still is locked out. It was locked out from 10 days before that, on the 21st of May. I've been locked out of my unit, and what does the regulation say, that maybe I'm supposed to be locked out after the 28th day or something like that?
I'm not. I didn't look into that. I just looked into where we are right now.
Well,
and where we are right now, sir, is that
you can see my payment for today, right? My payment
tomorrow.
My payment for today was for $66, right?
And 20 cents, yes. Sir.
$66.20, right? Okay, so that's my rent for the upcoming month. Okay, so that means that before today, I was paid up on my rent, because otherwise my bill would have been higher than 66, because it's my monthly rent.
Yes, sir.
So you weren't correct in when you were saying that I was locked out because of non-payment. I was locked out for some other reason that wasn't legal, and I'm trying to prevent that from continuing, because right now I'm paid up, and I just want you to make sure, because I've been having an issue with this. If you would please just call them and make sure. I'd appreciate it.
And make sure that what do you want me to make sure, that they are going to unlock you tomorrow?
That I'll be able to access my unit for the rest of the month, and that then there will be an overlock on my unit, as long as I'm paid, which is, you know. So as long as I just want to make sure that they're going to be.
Starting when?
It's going to be too late for me to get there. It's going to be too late. I'll have an hour to get there today, so maybe today. I mean, maybe tomorrow. You said if you said it takes 24 hours, and you believe that that's what it is, then check to make sure that after 24 hours, I'll be able to get in. That would be fine.
Okay, that sounds great. Sounds like a plan, Mr. Cow. Hold just a moment, please.
Thanks so much. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Agnes.
You're welcome. Okay, Mr. Cow.
Okay.
This is the deal. You still there, Mr. Cow? This is the deal.
Hold on. Is this deal going to be something other than the lease? Hold on. Miss, I agreed to the lease and only the lease. I don't like that. So I'm not agreeing with whatever you're going to be saying right now. The deal is what's in the lease, right? What do you have to explain to me,
Okay, well, this is the deal.
No. The deal is the lease. The deal is the lease. The deal is the lease. No. The deal is the lease. Agnes, think about what you're saying. Are you going to tell me that the lease is not valid? I signed the lease and only the lease. Okay, the deal is the lease. Okay, so what you're telling me right now is going to be telling me the lease. Okay.
This is it. Are you gonna let me speak or not?
Well, if you're going to tell me what the lease says, then yes. If you're going to tell me, okay.
This is the lease. I am.
Then that's perfectly fine. Then that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I just want to make sure that you were going to be.
You will have the opportunity to go in tomorrow to get into your unit one time.
That's not what the lease says.
I think you already know that.
Nope, that's not what the lease says.
You already know.
So what he's doing is illegal, so now we need to report him. Because that is not what the lease says.
Sir, this is... Have you not been terminated? I'm not talking about you paying money. I'm just talking about your lease being terminated itself.
My lease has not been terminated.
Okay, I tell you what, go in tomorrow, talk to Fitz, and he will be able to explain what needs to be explained.
No, thank you.
You are at his facility.
No, thank you. You just talked to him.
That's where you need to go. He will be there. He will be there from opening to about 4:30. I think it's 8:30 to 4:30.
Okay.
Tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 4 o'clock.
So
tomorrow.
you have.
He will be there, and you can live with him on tomorrow.
No, I refuse to. I need you to do that for me because you work for the company that has accepted my payment.
I've just done that. I've just done that, sir. I have just
okay.
done that.
And what was the outcome of that?
Go in and talk to Fitz on tomorrow.
Okay.
He will be there from
You know what my lease says. My lease says if I pay my rent, I have access to my unit. That's what the law says also. So I have access to my unit for the days of the month plus whatever days after. If my rent is late, I still have access to my unit. And you know what you just came back and started to tell me is clearly a violation of the law, a breach of, his job duties, and we need to report him now because that's not an acceptable thing for him to have told you. What he's telling you.
He doesn't need to be.
He doesn't need to be what?
You already know that you are being evicted from the. You already
Whoa!
know the deal,
Excuse me.
You're being evicted
Excuse
from
me.
the unit itself.
How are you going to tell me what I know? And for another thing, I'm not being evicted.
He needs to come. Okay, sir, listen. You can go in and talk to Fitz tomorrow in order to resolve this.
I need to talk to your manager though, because
there's nothing.
I need to talk to your manager. You're not able to handle this situation apparently.
I am fixing to disconnect the line, and there's no use in us going over this. There's no use in us continuing to call this number trying to get some resolve when you already have the resolve there at that store with Fitz. Go in tomorrow.
Excuse me.
With that with him.
Excuse me. I need to talk to your manager, Agnes.
This thing settled. I am going to disconnect. I am disconnecting the line, sir.
Agnes, I need to talk to your manager, please.
Have a wonderful day, okay?
I need to talk to your manager, please.